everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing and demoing a new Viseart eyeshadow palette. And you guys know I love Viseart eyeshadows, and so I was going back and forth whether or not I should purchase this palette, but some of you guys asked me about it. I decided to go ahead and pick it up and give you guys a look. So as you can tell by the title, this one is the Mini Petite Pro Chou Chou eyeshadow palette, and it is very small. The Mini Petite eyeshadow palettes can fit in my hands. So let's go ahead and get into the specifics of this palette. That way I can show you guys how to create this look. So this is the box that it comes in. It's very small. This palette retails for $30 and it has 8 eyeshadows in here. And it has 0.28 ounces of product, or a total of 8 grams of product. Here's what the palette looks like. It's in a cotton candy-esque or pink nouveau. You guys remember that lipstick color from MAC type shade of pink, and on the front it has the Viseart symbol. So they have an artist chair as their logo, and it says Petite Pro. So this is not my first Petite Pro. I've gotten quite a few of them, and all of them always have this same type design where you can fold it back and use it as an easel if you wish, or you could just fold it back like this and lay it flat like I do. But here is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. So it has a mix of matte and shimmery eyeshadows. So let me read you guys the description for this petite palette. It says, arriving like a postcard from the Côte d'Azur. I looked it up and that's what I got from that. But I also looked up that that's a part of the French Riviera, but we'll get into that. It says Viseart's limited edition Petite Pro Chou Chou joins the Petite Pro family. 8 vibrant shades in matte and shimmer finishes evoke carefree beach days filled with snow cones and sweets, fireworks, and fiestas. Indulge your eyes in summertime bliss. So it looks very beautiful, and this color story is reminiscent of that. It says that this area is in the Mediterranean coast of southeastern France, and it famously includes glamorous beach resorts such as Saint-Tropez and Cannes in the independent microstate of Monaco. I'm looking at these colors of the place in general, and it's just a very vibrant, colorful, fun looking place, and I think that's reflected in this eyeshadow palette. So like I said, there are 8 different colors in here, and I'll go ahead and insert the swatches of the colors. So the first color is Sand, and this one is a matte eyeshadow. Next we have Creamsicle, and this one also is a matte. Sangria, that's a shimmer. Popsicle, that's a matte. Icy, that's a metallic. Melon, a matte eyeshadow. Cotton Candy, a shimmer eyeshadow. And Sorbet, a shimmer eyeshadow. So I'm excited to get into the look. I'm going to walk you through how I created this look, and then stay tuned until the end, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this palette, but let me know if you all picked it up. So I hope that you all enjoy, and stay tuned. So the first thing that I'm going to do is prime my eyes, and this one is the Viseart Professional Eye Primer. There's a little bit of that out first. Make sure you shake it up if it's been a while since you've used it too. I'm going to blend that all over my eyes. And use this if you have this. If not, use whatever eye primer you have. So I'm first going to go into my crease and transition color, taking a blending brush. This one is the Sonia G Crease 2 brush, and I'm going to pop into the color Creamsicle. And in my crease, I'm going to take this color back and forth and then build it up. This is going to be my transition color. Build this color up and get it to be a decent amount of opacity, even though this color is pretty light. So I am going to have to build it up about 3 times for it to get that really nice creamy melony type color. But I still want it to be kind of light so it can be a wash of color. Next, I'm going to dip into the color Melon and move down, and I'm applying this color in my crease with the same brush. And this color is darker, so it's going to give me a little bit more color payoff. So this color is going to help define my crease even further. And I like that this color is very fun and bright. Right on time for spring summer 2020. So back and forth, and I'm going to build this color up quite a bit. So I've dipped into it twice now to get the amount of pigmentation that you see, but pretty much that's what we're going for. Really pretty, very fun and flirty and festive. Same brush, and I'm going to dip into the color Popsicle, and I'm really going to load my brush up with this color. And I am going to pop that right on the outer corner and then bring it up to the crease. So I am taking this color on the flat side of the brush and tapping it on the outer corner to really intensify it, and then bring it up to the crease to make sure that it's blended. That looks really pretty. Next, I'm going to take a flat shader brush. This one is a Rephr P21 brush, which mimics the MAC 242 original brush, the one that was discontinued because it has the natural and synthetic fibers. And I'm going to pick up the color Cotton Candy. So I'm just going to load my brush up with this color, and I'm packing that on the lid. And I'm going to take that all the way across, and then when I get to the outer corner color, which is this really pretty pink, I'm going to tap it to make sure that it's blended. But I'm taking my time and building up this color, and then I'm going to bring it up towards the crease. Like so. So take your time and build up this color. I actually want to spray this to intensify it. So I'm going to take some of my Too Faced Hangover RX spray, mist my brush, because I want this to be more intensified. Yes, perfect. I need to go back over the outer corner color just a little bit because it did get faded away when I was applying my lid shade. So I'm just popping that on with the original blending brush that I popped it on with originally, like so. Now I'm going to take a detailer brush. This one is a Royal and Langnickel BOM 50 brush and the color Icy. Shout out to Sweetie. And I'm going to pop that on the inner corner and blend it over. Pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and add liner and lashes, and I'll be right back. So I finished off the rest of my makeup, but I do need to do my lower lash line. So I'm going to go back in with the BOM 50 brush and back with the color Icy. And I am going to pop that right on the lower inner corner, like boom. So I wiped off this brush because I want to go back in with Melon and take that across the rest of the lower lash line and connect it to the top. That's it. I'm going to add some mascara and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I am done with my eye look, and I hope that you all have enjoyed the tutorial portion and this review. So now let me talk to you guys about my final thoughts about this petite palette. So I love the way that my eye look turned out. I think it looks very fun. It looks very summery, springy, flirty, just an overall burst of color without it being too bold. So it's a way to do color in a more subtle way, and I like that. I feel like it just looks like a Mai Tai or some sort of tropical drink, and I love the color story of this little bitty palette. So A+ for that. I love the packaging of it. I think it's very cute. It's very reminiscent of the spring, and it gets you excited to play with color. So I feel like this color story is conducive for those of you all who don't typically wear color. So it's an easy way to introduce more color into your makeup wardrobe without being shocked by it, because these colors are a little bit more soft and you can build them up, but overall these colors are not going to ever be just super neon on anybody's complexion. Sure, on people who have lighter complexions, these colors are going to pop a little bit more, but I feel like overall these colors are a softer way to do fun pops of color that you wouldn't typically go for. And as you guys saw, I used these colors on my complexion, no problem. I built them up to get them to show up as opaque as I possibly could get them to be. But I would definitely recommend, if you have a deeper complexion than me and you're interested in this, to go in with a base that is lighter or whiter even, to make these colors pop even more, because the base that I used is by Viseart and that base is clear, so it's not muting out my eyelid for these eyeshadows to pop to their full capacity. So definitely take that into consideration, because these eyeshadows are not the most pigmented. So going into that, let's talk about the quality of these eyeshadows. Like I said, I enjoy my eye look. I think it's very fun, very cute. I was able to execute it and get across what I wanted to convey through my artistry today. So I was able to make it work. However, if I'm looking at this eyeshadow palette and comparing it to other Viseart eyeshadow palettes, I would say that this is not the same quality as their large pan palettes, their 12 pan palettes, their Grand Pro palettes. Those are on another level. So I think that with Viseart, some people may try this for the first time and may not understand the hype that everybody's talking about with Viseart, because these are not the same. I would say these are fun. This is a fast way to incorporate more color. It is a fun addition to your makeup collection. However, if you want to get the true Viseart experience, I would say you do have to get into the larger pan palettes, and I'll go ahead and say it, the more expensive palettes that they offer. And a lot of brands do this. They create smaller palettes, mini palettes. Viseart calls theirs petite palettes, for you all to be able to expand colors in your collection, for you all to be able to participate in trends without spending a lot of money, because as we all know, Viseart palettes are not inexpensive by any means. They are investment pieces. They are pieces that you're going to be able to use in your collection and create very beautiful eye looks, but everybody does not have that in their budget. So for those of you all who may want to try out their eyeshadows but not necessarily invest so much right out of the gate, this is a way to be introduced into the brand. But this is not the same as the other palettes. This is not formulated the same way. I don't get the same color payoff. I don't get the same blend. I'm able to make it work, but when comparing it to their iconic formula, it doesn't hold up against that. And so that's not to say that this palette is bad, because like I said, I do like the palette. It's just gonna take a little bit more work for me to get my eye look going versus if I were to use one of their larger pan palettes. Those palettes take nothing for them to work. They blend like butter, especially their matte eyeshadow formulation. And I've said it before and I will say it again, nobody can hold a candle to Viseart matte eyeshadows in their 12 pan and in their large eyeshadow palettes. Nobody. They make the best matte eyeshadow formula in my opinion. Swatching them, they may not swatch the smoothest and most buttery, but on the eyes, they just melt. They blend and you don't have to second guess it. With these, sometimes you're not going to get that effortless blends. Some colors are going to work a little bit better than others, and I think that's true for both the shimmer and the matte eyeshadow formula in here. So I would just go into this knowing this. This one is more so like a fast fashion or fast makeup eyeshadow palette, and I've explained this example before, but like I've said in Huda Beauty videos, where Huda Beauty's mini palettes are not the same as her large palettes, or Natasha Denona even, her mini eyeshadows are oftentimes not the same as her larger eyeshadow palettes. So this is a common theme that we see. So Viseart hopped on that train and they created this mini palette for people who want to have fast makeup. But I would say the eyeshadows in this petite palette are consistent with formulations that we've seen by brands like Tarte or Too Faced, or pretty much any mainstream brand that we see readily in Sephora. So those brands that make good eyeshadows but they're not necessarily great, I would say that this is pretty much on par with that. So it's good, it's not great, I like it. If you're interested in this color story, I would say it's fun. You are going to have to spend a little bit more time getting this color to smooth out in particular. So let me know your thoughts on this palette. I look forward to reading what you guys have to say. But until next time, I will talk to you guys super soon. Smooches. Bye.